Hi everyone, and welcome to Rockstar Business World's interviews. I am here today at the fantastic Brompton Bicycle office / where it all happens, and I'm here with the founder, Will Butler Adams, recent OBE, Officer of the British Empire. Congratulations on that recent accolade.
Well, OBE, as you may know, stands for Other Buggers' Efforts. And it's no better represented than here, because this is where everybody else is making the business what it is.
Fantastic, brilliant. Well, I've been a huge fan of the product for years, but some of the people who are watching this right now may not know the story behind it. So let's start more about you, how it all came about, and tell us about Brompton Bicycles.
So the bike that we're making behind us is no thanks to me. It was developed by Andrew Ritchie, the inventor, and he set about making it in 1975. He started making it having studied engineering at Cambridge, made it in his living room.
Wow.
On the Cromwell Road, just up from Harrods, came up with this idea, didn't know what to call it, had been peering out of his window, and then decided to call it the Brompton, because his flat is opposite the Brompton Oratory. It took him 13 years to get it off the ground, and actually it was one of his customers that finally helped him get it going. Absolute determination, not backed by everybody. And that business got going, and I was lucky enough to meet his best friend on a bus, travelling from London, which is over there, to Henley, which is over there, and ironically travelling past this factory. And that was 14 years ago. And at the time I was an engineer working for DuPont. I kicked it all in and went to work for this tiny company making about 4,000 bikes out of this factory where we are today, and we're now making nearly 50,000 bikes out of the same factory.
Fantastic, wow. Well, it's been an incredible journey, and obviously what we're going to be doing today is asking you about that journey and any advice and tips that you can give. So thanks again for your time, and looking forward to the first question.
My pleasure.
So the first question I want to ask you, Will, is obviously the very beginning, the starting up stage. And I know your story is quite different, but because obviously you came into the company after the product was there. But you know a lot about business, you know a lot about starting up, and use your story as well. What advice can you give other aspiring entrepreneurs if they're going to start a business well? What do they need to do?
In my opinion, and this is drawing on what Andrew did, the first thing you've got to do is believe in it. If you don't believe in what you're doing, the chances are you'll fail. You might be lucky, but the chances are you'll fail. In this case of Brompton, Andrew was 13 years, and it was a joke. You know, oh, you're not still fiddling around that stupid thing. He got knocked back by this person, knocked back by that person, but he believed in it, and belief will carry you a long way. That's number one. And number two, which is something that Andrew wasn't so good at, which is actually what his friends helped him with and how I got involved, is you need to surround yourself with people who are better than you. You need to recognize that if you have the belief, if you have the idea, you've got to surround yourself with people who can make it a reality. And if you don't realize that you need other people to help you, you will just be an island and you'll fail. So belief and letting other people support you, you're in with half a chance, but it's always only half a chance.
So really, really great advice on starting up. Belief, having the right people around you, but if you're not now then making sales, you don't have a business. I think sales, especially at the early stage, you've got to get out there and start making those sales. So you were able to come into this business at a very, very early stage and start helping with that. Let's talk about sales. What advice can you give?
Most people in sales look here. They look, you know, down the road. They look at somewhere that's not very far away. And they start measuring their ambition in a fairly local environment. But the irony is today, with the technology that we have, local is a click away. And that may be on the other side of the world. And then what happens? People get intimidated. They go, oh, what's South Korea? Oh my God, Chengdu? It's miles away. I can't do business there. And then they start planning and they start making massive business cases, and they procrastinate, and the years go by and they stagnate. My philosophy is, look, I want to go and visit this place anyway. I'm fascinated. Let's go on holiday. Who's up for coming? You know, do it absolutely low-key, time it when there's a show, and just go and learn. Don't set yourself massive expectations. Just pile out, eat some food, meet some people, get in the area, and it's amazing when you find yourself in the environment where you're trying to sell with the people in your industry, things happen. Don't overplan, do it. Get on a plane, you find you're there the next day and things are happening. You meet someone, you find someone, you chat to someone, and business happens. It won't happen when you're sitting doing a business case. You've got to get out there.
Just a quick question. Where is your biggest market these days? Where do you sell the most bikes?
Biggest market export today is South Korea.
Wow.
Then there's Japan, Germany, the US, Netherlands, Spain, Hong Kong, Singapore, China, on the up. You know, we're bouncing about all over the place.
Yeah, fantastic. Great advice. So, I guess with such a unique product, we just covered sales, and obviously when you come up with such a great product, you know, a bicycle for the city, a bicycle that lets people on my train on Southwest every morning get on to, you know, during the morning rush hour. Obviously, when you come up with something so unique, naturally, and such a great product, you're going to have interest, and as you found out very early, from all over the world.
Yep.
Marketing, though, I always like to see that as the way, once you've made those first few sales, your marketing then allows you to get more volume and more people interested. So what have been some of the marketing strategies that you guys do that have really worked, and maybe some of the ones that haven't worked?
Marketing is something I sort of believe really strongly in. And my philosophy with marketing is the world has changed. In the past, you could get away with enough cash, you stick enough half-page adverts in, black is white, white is black, you know, next thing you know, you're paying 60 quid for some amazing pot of something, and people believe it. But those days have gone. You cannot tell untruths. So it's a waste of money trying to pump all your precious profits into sort of tosh, into half-page ads. Where you want to spend your money is in your product and in looking after your customer, because they are your marketing. Your marketing is not spending money on adverts, spending money on half sheets. Your marketing is your customer blogging. It's your customer tweeting. It's your customer, you know, telling their friends what an amazing product this is. So actually, it really comes back to fantastic value for your customer. Our philosophy is our customer. We don't design in obsolescence, we design out obsolescence. Our product lasts 10 years. That's a brand. You've had it for 8 years and you can still look after it. It still works. You may not buy another one, but you'll rave about it to your friends and 10 of them will buy one. And then you'll blog about it and people in Canada will hear about it and people in South Korea will hear about it. And that is where the real marketing is. It's in your product.
And then, of course, if they're only buying one, because there's such great quality bikes, they last 10 years, there's now a huge range of different accessories that you can buy to go with it.
Of course there are.
But that's a smart strategy, isn't it? Because you're building something that's going to last, so how do you maintain repeat business through the accessory market?
True, but I think the world is big. You know, we're making 50,000 bikes a year. I mean, quite frankly, it's pathetic. There are 8 billion people in the world. Most of them live in cities, and most of them are scuttling down holes, getting squished into some tube. They should be whizzing along on a bike.
Yeah.
You know, so we haven't even started. And the other thing is, this is what is marketing. It's real.
Yeah.
You know, people are buying into brands and then discovering that somebody's got an iPhone in Bangladesh and the whole thing's been ripped to shreds. This is integrity, and people increasingly want to have honesty. They want to know that what they're being sold is real, and there isn't some hidden agenda. And so we're just honest, simple and transparent.
Yeah, no, really good advice, thank you. All right, so I think what you just mentioned before is, you know, your customers are absolutely key. They are your marketing, and that leads really nicely into my next question, which is about brand. And what a brand that you've built, and what a great backdrop today to be talking about the brand that you've built. And I think there's a difference between a business and one that has really defined and represents a brand. So the question is, my friend, what does brand mean to you? What does that term mean to you? And those people watching this, what can they be doing to start turning their business into a brand?
So when I started, we were freaks. Oh my God, what's that? That's a funny thing. And look at you, look like a daddy long legs whizzing along, you know, oh my God. And then suddenly we start growing. And then next thing you know, we get an award and we go to some trendy dinner, and like, we're engineers, we don't get awards, we don't go to trendy dinners. And then somebody says, oh, congratulations on your brand. Like, brand? What the hell's that? We're not in a brand, we're just making our bike.
Yeah.
And then people say to you, oh, you need to invest in your brand. Oh yeah, you're doing the big guns now, you can invest in your brand. And I'm anti that. That's our brand.
Yep.
That's our brand.
Yep.
Our brand is that customer in 10 years' time. Yep. That's our brand. Now, what happens to companies is they're hardcore, they're techie, they're geeky, they're into their thing. Then someone tells them they've got a brand, they start investing in their brand, and then 5 years go by, and somebody goes, oh, hold on, you've got an amazing brand, but the product's naff, it's no good. So forget the brand.
Yep.
The product, the service, that is your brand.
Yeah.
Your brand is when it goes wrong after 8 years, do you look after the customer? When it breaks, do you make sure that they're looked after? Because if you do, they will love you. And that today, it's so simple. But people have got caught up in all this massaging brands, investing in brands. Actually, it's value.
Yeah.
How does it affect my life? There was this thing worthwhile. I mean, think about what you own. How much of it really you care about? How much of the stuff you've bought in your kitchen, in your house, do you really feel you love? Not much. And a brand is something you love because it adds value.
Yeah.
And that's all we're trying to do with this product. Make something that makes your life a little bit better.
Absolutely. And I think what's great about it too is that I agree with you totally on investing in brand. Your brand is your customer. Your brand, and I see it every day. I'm reminded of your product every day,
Yes.
as I said, from all the punters who are carrying it onto the Southwest Train
Yes.
to get into Waterloo.
But the thing about that is because the thing works.
Yeah.
And they use it.
Exactly.
Now, that costs me nothing.
I know.
Now, the way other people get their brand out is by everywhere you turn, there's a billboard. I can't afford that.
Yep.
So I'm not seeing it on a billboard, I'm seeing it being used by real people. And then you start going, hold on, look, I just seen all these guys on that thing. Must be quite good. I mean, they're not stupid. Why have they bought it? Oh, I'm going to go and try it.
Yeah.
And it's in your face. But it's in your face because it's being used, not because we're just trying to pump up another billboard.
Yep. Here's a question though, right? You are very fortunate, I feel, that you've got such a great, unique product.
You're right.
A tangible
You are right.
product that people are carrying.
You are right.
80% of the world's small businesses are selling a service.
Yep.
So what can our service people, like me, learn from you as a product guy about what they can do more about from a brand perspective?
Okay, so the product, people think about sales. And where people can go wrong is they go, right, okay, sales, right, next year's sales, okay? We don't have sales targets anywhere in the world. We have no volume discount anywhere in the world. So you buy one as a distributor or as a dealer, you get the same discount if you buy 1,000. What does that mean? That means that we are interested in the customer. When we sell a product, that's when we start our work. That's when the journey begins. And it doesn't matter whether you're in product or service. Once we've sold the product, it's the service that we give the customer that really is who we are.
Yeah.
The product, everyone's excited when they buy a product. They're full of elixir. They just spent the money. It's shiny. It's in a packet. It's great. Brand value is what happens 4 years down the road. Are you still using it? Now, if you're doing a service, if someone buys the service because they like the pitch and it all looked great, but then after a year, they're like, I've never even used that thing. It's rubbish. I mean, or if 2 years down, I can't live without the bloody thing. It's brilliant. I've been using it so much. I'm telling my friends how great it is. Doesn't matter whether it's a service or a product. If the thing works, if you look after the customer, if you add value, you have something that people will sell and they will talk about it.
So I think it's a great backdrop to also talk about getting the best out of a team, finding the right people for your business and getting the best out of them. As the leader of this fantastic team, what are some of the tips to get the best out of those who are around you?
There is a propensity by people when they're privileged enough to get into a position where they are leading, that they think therefore they must know everything. I mean, hey ho, I've got the top job, I must know everything. The reality is you don't know a flipping thing. The best thing to know as somebody who's leading a company is that you don't know. So you need to find people who do know. Your job is to set the vision. This is where we are heading. Now we decided this is where we're heading. What do we need to get there? So then you go out and find those people that will help you get there. Now, if you recruit someone because they have the skills you don't have to help you get somewhere, how can you be expected to tell them what to do? Because surely you just employed them because they have the skills you don't have. So what you do is you don't tell them what to do, you tell them where to go, then you give them the resources to get there, and you clear all the bureaucratic crap out the way so they can get on and do their job. So my job is to facilitate my team. My job is to get my managers, everybody, every single person in this company to have the freedom and the ability to make this place better and to just clear out the crap and not allow this place to become a bureaucratic hole.
Yeah, excellent, fantastic. So this topic now is about finance and different ways that you can raise finance, obviously, for your business. Now, I understand from your case, when you raised money, it was mainly through management buyouts, but in today's market, so many different ways that one can do it. What are your thoughts on when to raise finance, different ways that one can raise finance, and if you're going to have any success of actually having investment into your business, what must you do to attract investors?
It comes back to the answer to the first question. You've got to have passion. You've got to believe, because people believe in you. Yeah. You can do as many spreadsheets as you like, but they're not investing in the spreadsheet, they're investing in you. And if you don't believe in it, if you aren't putting yourself on the line, if you're not committing to it, forget it, no one's going to go near you. Yeah. The other thing is, in my opinion, this is fun. Yeah. Life is about having fun. And actually, something we've done is we could have grown quicker, potentially. We could have raised loads more money. We could have gone to the banks. We could have gone to VCs. But that takes the fun out. We are still owned by Andrew and his mates, me and my mates and our staff. Right. That gives us control. We can sit around a room and go, fuck it, let's go for it. Or, we can just make decisions. And that is worth more to me than going out and getting a bucket load of cash and being miserable because I have a bunch of VC people who don't understand my business telling me what to do.
You have to report to
yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
And of course, I have shareholders, but they've bought into the vision. They're in it for the next 20 years. They want to see this thing transform cities around the world. Okay. And business, it's about fun for everybody here. I mean, if we're all having a crap time, what sort of product are we going to produce if no one's enjoying themselves? Yeah. So for me, it's about coming back to that first thing, passion, vision, and commitment, and remembering we're here to have fun. We're spending all of our lives in this place. Let's enjoy it.
Now, as you said before, Will, 50,000 bikes produced so far every year. I'm sure that number's only going to increase, and these factory floors are going to get bigger. South Korea is your biggest market, followed by other countries all over the world. This question is about taking your business globally. And you're a product, the ones who have online apps, it's the click of a button, it's done. Yeah. But you're a real business that produces products that are being sold all over the world. So in your huge amount of experience with this, what advice can you give about those who, let's focus on products.
Yep.
If your ambition is to grow to other parts of the world, how should you do it?
So when I joined, we had export, but it was very small and it was very local. And the problem was we were too vulnerable. One market goes down and literally we'll just be taken out. Now, interestingly, at the time, we couldn't supply the markets we were in. But we decided to throttle their growth to nurture new growth. The Brompton has a long incubation period. You drop it into a market, it takes 2 or 3 years before it really takes off. Okay. So we held back to diversify our market more. And how did we do that? Like I said before, we went, South Korea. People have been talking about our product. There have been a few grey imports. Let's pile out there and see what's kicking. So we piled out there, we rode our bikes, we learned about it. We did the same thing in China. We went on a massive bike ride through Beijing and Shanghai, visited loads of shops, ate great food, met cool people. Thought, hey, we can do business here. Then, once you're there, again, we were flirted, not in the early days, but as the brand became stronger, we were flirted by the big importers. Oh yeah, we got this brand, this brand, this brand. We've got thousands of shops we can put your bike in. We're all going to become millionaires. And then we have this guy over here, like, I'm an architect. I love your product. I've been riding it for 5 years. I've never done this before, but I believe in what you're doing. I've got all these cool ideas. I want to completely rethink retail. And I remember when we were in Taiwan, I was with one of our suppliers, and because he speaks Chinese, he was taking me around, and we visited the potential distributors. And he said, well, it's obvious. You're going to go with the big guys. We all went out for a big, massive lunch and look at their amazing warehouse. And I'm like, no, I'm not going with those guys. They don't care about us. We're just another little thing to add to their portfolio. And if we don't perform, they just flick us off. I'm going with a dude over here. Okay, he hasn't got much experience, but he's got tons of this. And that guy has been awesome. And that's our approach. It's about fun. People I can rely on, people I can have a beer with, people who will be with me through thick and thin. And I think if people forget about the money making, we have to make a profit to grow our business. But if they think about the service, how they're looking after people, not just the end consumer, your B2B, your suppliers, and you create trust and you buy into something together and you really, really sell that vision, not just to your customers and your staff, but to everybody involved, then you're in with half a chance of beating the competition. You don't have to be radical, you need to be better than the rest. And if you can do that, by trusting people and not sending them some 500-page contract looking to sue them if they put a little toe out of line, then you have something that's better than the rest.
Absolutely. And you really started with a number of countries. I mean, any regrets with that? For someone watching this now, is it better to, if you started in the UK, let's say, and then South Korea was the first one, is it better to nail that market first before trying to go out to others in hindsight?
We have a propensity to take on a bit more than we can chew.
Okay.
And
it's fun.
It is. Not always, I can tell you. Sometimes it's like, oh my God. But, there is a bit of a tension between me and my board, because they're always telling me I'm taking on too much.
Yep.
And I'm always telling them, look, if we don't move, we're going to miss.
Yep.
I definitely think innovation comes out of disorder. We all like to be ordered. We get up at the same time. A little bit of chaos, ironically, creates innovation. And to be just out of control is actually healthy for a business. Everybody's on their toes. They're rushing around. Now, chaos is not healthy, but too organized and too comfortable, you're not going to innovate. And we have tried to find that balance. We've made mistakes, but actually, those mistakes we've been able to retrospectively sort out. But if we didn't take the risk, if we didn't pile in there, if we didn't throw a bit of caution to the wind, we were stagnated. So I'm sort of happy to take those mistakes on the chin, because macro-wise, we're in a much better position. And if we'd, done more planning, de-risked it all, the opportunity would have gone.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be prepared to go at 80-20 and not wait for the perfect scenario, do tons of market research. No, pile in, get in there, make sure you're protecting the downside, but get in there.
My last question to you, Will, and again, thank you so much for your time today. And this is about exiting a business.
Yep.
And those people who are watching this category now obviously have that desire to one day build up their company to a certain size where they want to then sell it on.
Yep.
Now, I don't know the goals and aspirations from Brompton Bicycle at this stage,
Yep.
but in your experience and all the fantastic entrepreneurs you've met over the years, the question is this: if you have any chance of hitting that exit level or that figure that you've got in your head where you'd be comfortable to sell on, what do you need to be doing now to have any chance of selling on for a good price in the future?
Anybody who is starting a business thinking about an exit is going to fail. It's complete and utter tosh. Exit's a load of total and utter rubbish. To my mind, forget the exit, that's naff. You've got something, you're passionate about it, grow the bloody thing, make it successful, increase export, build the brand. Then every bloody person wants to buy you, doesn't matter who they are. Bloody banks, competitors, VCs. If you have a successful business, people want to buy it.
Yep.
As it happens in our business, I don't want to sell. I'm not interested in selling. It's nonsense. This is a unique opportunity in my life to do something pretty cool.
Yeah.
Most people are scratching their arse, waiting for the bloody clock to finish. I haven't got enough time in the day. And what a cool thing to be involved in. There's a bloke who had a business sucking dust off the floor with a flipping yellow Hoover. It's called Dyson. That's £1 billion business, and he still owns it.
Yeah.
We have a product that is so much cooler than that is so much fun, and it affects every city in the world. Damn it, if we can't get to £1 billion, we're missing a trick.
Absolutely.
So come on.
Absolutely. Well, Will, thank you again so much.
My pleasure.
I think if I was to define that interview in one word, it would be absolute passion, and what fantastic insight and advice. To find out more about Brompton Bicycle and to buy your Brompton Bicycle, just click on Will's page now. That'll take you straight to the link. And what a story, what a journey, what an entrepreneur.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.